What's up YouTube, Webbers5 here, just coming at you now just with a small discussion about the future potential of Pendulum Magicians. Because from what we've seen recently with the recent ban list change, spirals are pretty much irrelevant now, and basically one of the best decks at the moment is Pendulum Magicians just because they're so consistent and they've done pretty well. They did pretty well at the recent YCS London. I think I saw that they made it into top, like a couple decks made it into top 32. One deck made it into the top 16, and then after that it just got completely shut out by spirals. Okay, so frankly, I can see that Pendulum Magicians have a lot of potential to do well between now and the start of 2018 because I've seen like 5 really good cards that will potentially help them do well. Okay, the first one I can see that might help them is from the Link Vrains pack, Crystron Needle Fiber. I've got all the stuff referenced on my tablet, so if I'm looking away, I'm just referencing it there, because this is a lot of stuff made. So for those who haven't seen, Crystron Needle Fiber is one of the new Link monsters that's going to be released in the Link Vrains pack, that has 2 Link materials pointing down, diagonally, which is like the ideas links that you want. Its requirements are 2 monsters, including at least 1 tuner. So simply put, you can Pendulum summon Harmonizing Magician, use its effect to drop another Magician, and boom, you've got 2 monsters you can use to make Needle Fiber. What? Question? Some of you might be thinking, why would you want to play Needle Fiber in this deck? Okay, so the potential with Needle Fiber is, for one thing, it's pretty simple to make with 2 links pointing down. So that gives you easy access to bring back stuff from your extra deck. But the main reason it's got potential with this build is the synergy with its monster effects. For those who don't know, Crystron Needle Fiber says during your... The first effect is irrelevant for Pendulum Magicians because it summons a level 3 or low tuner from the handle deck in defense, which can't activate its effects this turn. I suppose in Pendulum Magicians the only thing you could want to summon with that is... off the top of my head, the ones I could think of would be Noble Dragon Magician, if you play it. Not a lot of people do, because not a lot of people are using the Odd Eyes variant. And the other one could be, like, the only one I would think of that would be any useful to summon to the field is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit if you're maining it, because Ghost Ogre's effect works from the field. So that's an option. You could do that. But it's the primarily secondary effect that you'd want it for. The secondary effect being, during your opponent's main or battle phase, you can banish it from your field to special summon a Synchro Tuner monster from your extra deck, treating it as a Synchro Summon. So the idea of what you want to do in the terms of this deck is you want to banish it in your opponent's turn to special summon the Synchro Tuner Crystron Quandax, which is the level 4 Crystron Synchro Tuner. You want to do this because it's got the Excel Synchro effect, so it will let you Synchro Summon during your opponent's turn. Why you want to do this is, once your opponent's got their established board, basically what you want to do is, okay, effect of Needle Fiber, banish it to summon Quandax, and then effect of Quandax, banished, effect to do a Synchro in your turn, and then what you want to do is you want to tune your level 4 Quandax with any level 4 Dark Pendulum, and you've now got the ability to summon Supreme King Dragon Clearwing in your opponent's turn, and then use his effect of being Synchro Summoned to just nuke your opponent's board. So that's one of the good potentials of Needle Fiber. It just lets you summon Supreme King Dragon Clearwing in your opponent's turn, which will just completely shut down their plays. And then, of course, if they still get a monster on board, you've got Clearwing's other effect to auto-kill and burn. So, one really good effect. So yeah, that's going to be a really good potential option for something you can play in Pendulum Magicians. I've already now picked up my Crystron Quandax ahead of time just to prepare for it. Like, I don't know when we're getting the stuff from the Link's Vrains pack, but I'm just thinking ahead. So that's the first one. Okay, the second one I've got... Okay, the second card on my list is something we should be getting at the start of next year. That's being released in... what's the name of the set after Circuit Break? Extreme Force. Some of you might have seen it. It's called Pendulum Paradox. What Pendulum Paradox does is add 2 face-up Pendulum monsters with the same Pendulum scale but different name from your extra deck to your hand. You can only and like most cards, you can only activate 1 card of it, but 1 copy of that card per turn. So, some of you might be thinking, Why would I want to add two monsters with the same scale when I can't pendulum summon off them? when I can just play Amazing Pendulum, which puts 2 different magicians back, which would give me an ideal skill. One of the reasons you want to do this is, for starters, Amazing Pendulum does work with the deck, but for Amazing Pendulum to work, you have to have no cards in your Pendulum Zone, which is easy enough to do with Wavering Eyes, I guess, but Pendulum Paradox is just a lot better in terms of you can just use that at any point. You can either use it to try and rebuild a scale, or you can just use it to try and develop board advantage, because of course naturally with the extra monster zones introduced with links, either if you don't have easy access to a link, Pendulum Paradox is just there as a good option to help drop monsters on board. Another potential thing you can do is, if say it's like the only card in your hand, it is still a potential 1-card scale, just on terms that you can activate it, put one of your scale 8s and perform a Pal Skullcrobat Joker back in your hand, because he's a scale 8, and you just normal summon Skullcrobat, use his effect to search the other scale that you want, to search your low scale, set your scale up, Pendulum Summon. Simple as. Let me think, there was one other reason I wanted to talk about that card. Oh yeah, another advantage is, because Pendulum Paradox has Pendulum in its name, you can search it off Duelist Alliance as well, which is another good potential for that card. So yeah, I probably would definitely see a few Pendulum decks picking that up for once it's released. Okay, the next card I saw on my list was something that was recently released as a promo in Japan called Linklebell, which is a generic Link 2 with 2 links pointing diagonally down, it just states 2 monsters. It doesn't have an effect, it's rather got a condition that just states it cannot be link summoned unless you have 3 cards more than your opponent in your extra deck. Now, this card doesn't state whether it has to be face up or face down, and in a Pendulum deck, all your pendulums from the field will go into the extra deck. So there's always a really good chance you're going to have more. There's a really good chance you're going to have at least 3 monsters more in your extra deck than your opponent does, which means Linklebell could be a very good potential card for starting up early in the game if you need to get a link out on your field quickly. So that's one potential, or at least I did think it would be potential if it wasn't for the card that actually just got released today, which is the next card I'm going to go into, which is Heavy Metal Foes Electrum, which was just released for the Link Vrains pack, detailed about it today. Now, when I first saw this card, I was thinking, okay, so this is the Metal Foes. Okay, so this is the Metal Foes link. How does this work? Then I read it and I was like, wait, this is generic. It just says 2 Pendulum monsters, and like most of the other stuff from the Link Vrains pack, it's got the best links diagonally down. So this card's got, and so this is a Link 2, which has 2 pointing down diagonally, as I said, requires 2 Pendulum monsters, and it has 3 amazing effects that work really well with magicians. So the first effect is when it's link summoned, you can add a Pendulum monster from your you can add a Pendulum monster from your deck into your extra deck face up. So a good way to set up for your Pendulum summon if there's something in your deck that you really need now, or another thing or something that you might want in your hand if you've got something like maybe Pendulum Paradox or Oath Dragon Magician, or another way to get it to your hand, which is going into Heavy Metal Foes Electrum's secondary effect, which states you can target one other face-up card on the field, destroy it, then add a face-up Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So essentially what you can do with this is summon it, put something in your extra deck, then use his second effect, pop something to put that same thing you just put in your extra deck into your hand. So another advantage of that is putting like Astrograph into your extra deck from that, because it's got the similar thing from Wavering Eyes doing it like that. So summon, effect, put Astrograph in my extra deck. Effect, pop this card which I play multiple of. Pop this Pendulum monster that I play multiple of, put Astrograph in my hand. Effect of Astrograph, summon itself because a card of mine was destroyed, and then I'll just search the card I just destroyed and bet another one. So yeah, that's another good advantage of it. You can just put something from your deck into your extra deck, and then just immediately get it back. And then it's got and then the final effect, which is a mandatory trigger effect. It states, where is it? If a card or card leaves your pendulum zones, draw one card. That effect is a hard one. That effect is a once per turn mandatory effect. So essentially if a pendulum on your field leaves by any way, so including if you just do it by the other methods that I just stated. So use this effect to pop something in your pendulum zone to put something from your extra back in your hand, and then immediately just draw one card. Pretty good. Not gonna fly. So yeah, that's got some really decently good effects, and so I'm pretty sure I can see a lot of pendulum decks definitely using this, particularly cards like I'm gonna say decks that easily manipulate getting rid of stuff in their pendulum zones as well. So that would be stuff like Magicians being the obvious one, Metal Foes, because yeah, he's also got Metal Foes in his name as well, so yeah. Other stuff that can potentially just destroy themselves, like, oh yeah, Ignites could go off well with this. Same with Dynamists. I know Dynamists don't choose to destroy their scales, but they can do. And then off Charge as well, which lets you put them back. So yeah, that could work well on that as well. And then the last card I've got on my list is the recent Link 4 that was revealed in Extreme Force, Skulldeat the Chained Draco Serpent. It's Link 4, which has one with the same links as Top Logic Bomber, so it's got 1 pointing up to your opponent's field and 3 pointing down on your field. Some requirements just being two or more monsters with different names. Like, I get with Link 4s, they want to have like a bit of difficulty to it, but frankly, I feel Barrel Load Dragon's more difficult to summon than this. 2 or more monsters with different names is not difficult for a lot of decks. Like, I was talking over with my friend Martin the other day about Skulldeat, in terms of getting 4 monsters with different names. That's pretty easy. I can think of a way in Pendulum Magicians to do that in just 2 cards mid-game. It only takes Skullcrobat Joker, Astrograph Sorcerer. The idea of it is, summon Joker, use his effect to search Black Fang Magician, activate Black Fang Magician's effect to target a monster your opponent controls, cut its strength in half, and then he dies. Use the effect of Black Fang to target one of your dark spellcasters in graveyard with a different name to special summon it. Chain Astrograph's effect to special summon itself and search another copy of Black Fang. Then can resolve Black Fang's effect to bring back the stuff you targeted. And then just do the same thing again with Black Fang and target a monster, half it, summon another monster with a different name, and boom, you just got 4 monsters on the field with different names, and it only took you 2 cards to do it. So yeah. And for those who haven't seen Skulldeat's effect, he gains different effects depending on the number of monsters used to summon, which is why it's really good that there's a lot of ways to summon this using 4 different names. The first effect is if you use at least 2 different names. If a monster is summoned to a zone it points to, it gains 300 attack and defense, that being normal or special summoned. Sad it doesn't do flip summon, but come on, who flips summons these days? 3 or more, once per turn you can just special summon a monster from your hand. And then his 4 or more effect, which is the good effect that you guys want. When it's Link summoned, you can draw 4 cards and then place 3 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck in any order. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good potential payoff for just 4 monsters with different names, which isn't exactly difficult to do. Okay. And another reason I'm seeing Pendulum Magicians having a decent potential to do well is, as I aforementioned, the ban list. Like, the only deck that was pretty much doing better than Magicians at the moment was Spirals, but with the recent ban list, I've seen decks on YouTube that Spirals can actually still play under this ban list, but they had dramatically lost a bit of consistency. Because the way we see it is, with all the cards that got hit with them being Gofu, Set Rotation, Quick Fix, and Drone, that's quite... The way I've calculated it in my head is Spirals have essentially lost at least 10 cards, given that they would play multiple of those cards. So that's like, they've just lost 2 Quick Fix, 2 Drones. Since those are gone, they basically have no reason to play Machine Dupe, so that's all 3 copies of Machine Dupe, and then probably the 2 Gofus. Did I mention Gofu already? No, I haven't mentioned Gofu, so yeah, 2 Gofus, because everyone's playing Gofu at 3 to see it. And then with set rotation at 1, that would be at least 2 other copies of set rotation, and then probably 1 to 3 field spells that they've lost, depending on how they want to play it. So, yeah, Sparrows have just lost about 11 to 14 cards in their deck, which they're now going to have to rethink about. Okay, so that's pretty much all I've got so far for the potential of Pendulum Magicians. Let me guys know what you guys let me know your thoughts on what you think Pendulum Magicians might be capable of in the next upcoming format. And hope to hear from you guys soon. Like, comment, subscribe as always. Thank you. Bye.